Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
We're back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we heard your cries. And by ladies and gentlemen, I mean, hey, Dad, I know Tucker's audio was okay, I know. We had to wait for him to... He's got a new mic now.
If this mic is bad...
If it's still dog shit, because it's the one that I'm using, so it's the exact same one. I think it might just be you.
No,
I might need to just get a different co-host.
Damn. You can pick Brian. He said he'd be here for the next episode.
That's fair.
Brian?
Brian?
You're going to be the next episode. I know you're not listening to this.
He's not. Nobody in this house listens to our podcast.
It's a scam. Also, for all the listeners, sorry this is a week late.
Oops.
I was waiting for...
We had to wait for the mic to come in.
And then we were busy this weekend. So...
And then we were busy because we have lives.
Sorry.
Oopsies.
Oh well.
We're getting back into it, I promise.
Womp womp.
I promise.
Yeah. It's fine.
Everything's fine. Anyway, small talk. Your opinion on soup?
It's pretty good.
It's wintertime, so it's soup time.
It is...
It's always soup time. I am the kind of person that I'll always eat a soup.
Fair enough. I like soup.
I made
It's good.
Did you have the minestrone that I made a couple days ago?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was really good. I should make more.
You made it for D&D and we all ate it.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Except we didn't end up doing D&D that night. Because
Oops.
Shay had homework and then...
Loser.
And then didn't... He was like, I need to study for a test. And then
they didn't have a test. Which is not his fault. His professor was just like, whatever.
I'm only a little mad.
And it's whatever. We still had a good time. I need to make myself a bigger dice bag now, though, because I just bought a lot of the dice.
Yes.
So I need to make myself a bigger dice bag.
I love dice bags.
Okay, well, I'll make you an alien one to go along with your Mothman one. And then they can be besties.
We can get a Sasquatch one. And
okay, I need to get some brown yarn for that.
Little sea monster one.
Okay, some blue yarn.
Yeah, like blue-green. Teal, I think that
Teal.
is. Well, anyway. Now that schizo rambling is done.
Trying to fill time.
I have a proposition for you.
Oh, did you make the tier list?
No, actually, I forgot.
Get...
Yeah, I know. No, my proposition for you is...
What's up?
Since you left our viewers on quite the cliffhanger next time, or last time, not next time, hopefully not this time, I propose you go first to break the tension. No! What do you mean,
to wait.
no?
They have to wait. They have to listen through your section. Now they can't just skip your section and go to my section, because my section's always better.
Yeah, okay, bro. I don't want to... I've gotten all the whimsy, and you're like, and now I'm going to bring you this haunted orphanage where 30 children were murdered. And I'm like...
you guys, you would not believe what I have in my backyard.
and I'm like, just before that, they just got done hearing about like the Glasgow Gunker or something. It's like a little
and then I'm like, here, let me tell you about all
haunted
these people
dolls.
that killed themselves.
Haunted dolls.
Listen, it's my turn to cover something haunted next week. You better believe we're coming in clutch.
If it's another doll, I'm gonna be so mad.
I'm gonna put a curse on your soul.
No,
actually,
honestly.
There's some ones in here that I've been looking at that it's like don't talk about them. You will get cursed.
Dude, come on.
You're welcome, Tucker.
Yeah,
also, happy
right.
spooky season. It's now October.
Spooky enough.
Spooky enough. Happy birthday, Clay.
True.
Shout out to our brothers for being the best listeners.
Honestly. And
Our
Luke,
number one fans.
Luke Inman, if you're listening to this,
I'm sending you a little
send
smooch.
you a smooch over the radio wave. Because I know you're going to listen to this as soon as it's up, because you've done it for the past 4 episodes.
God
I
bless.
appreciate it, by the way.
God bless.
Well, I guess I'll start then. I'm haunted
Hit
this
me.
time. So,
Hit me with a
I
tail.
would like to weave you a tale, because
Oh my
this
God,
place
weave it for me.
is a little special.
Is it also a brewery that has beer?
No, I wish. But I have actually been to this haunted
Oh my God, you have insider information.
I have insider information.
Do you have your own things to add to it? Your own little tidbits?
Unfortunately, do not. However, my parents do.
You interviewed your parents?
No, I remember this from when they went and stayed at this location overnight, and they have their own haunting tale to tell you.
And welcome in through the door, Mr. and Mrs. Lambing. Hey, round of applause. Insert clap sounds here.
No, they're not actually here.
Darn it.
I know. It's okay. Maybe next time. Well, you've honestly probably been there, because it is in Oregon as well.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Is it the Pittock Mansion?
No. I
Damn.
have been there, though.
I have been there, too. I went there for a 4-H event around Christmas. Oh my God, it's so beautiful.
It is the Heceta Head lighthouse.
Damn it, that was on my list of things to cover.
Uh-huh.
You bitch. Womp womp.
Anyway, let's get into some history with the lighthouse, right?
I love a lighthouse.
Kind of a little bit short, but
I love a lighthouse. I think I was a sailor in my last life.
I like lighthouses. I will say I went on a lighthouse trip when I was like 3.
Okay, so like here's the thing.
4,
yeah, lighthouses are fucking stupid if you're under the age of 10.
I would agree.
But if you're like over the age of 10, you're like, yo, this is actually kind of sick if you think about it. And then it becomes cool. There's nobody that's like super into lighthouses that's like a child. Especially if you're like, I feel like it's a very popular like school field trip activity.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the kids like do not give a singular about the fact that there's a light up high, and they're like, okay, cool, it's a tall building. Anyway, I'm gonna go play in the grass and make daisy chains.
Exactly. But this one's a little special.
Okay.
Let's get into the history of it first.
Tell me about it.
Before it was haunted.
Before it was haunted? It wasn't haunted while it was being built?
No.
Did anybody plummet to their death while building it?
Nope.
Because that's like a classic thing. People would be like, we're building a lighthouse, and this person got stuck, and they fell, and now they're built into the wall.
Yeah, from my research, no one was built into it. Nobody fell off of it.
Lamb.
We'll get there. So, the Heceta Head Lighthouse stands about 205 feet above the Pacific Ocean on, you guessed it, the Heceta Head Bluff.
Oof.
The bluff itself is about 1,000 feet high, with the lighthouse being about 56 feet tall.
Okay, but it's you just said it's 200 feet above the Pacific Ocean.
It's not on the top of the bluff.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's 205 feet above the ocean, so 205 feet up the bluff.
Oh,
and
it's
then
not.
It's like a big rolling hill above it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second.
Yeah,
I'm really bad at math, but that math wasn't mathing.
No. The bluff, further up from the lighthouse, it becomes higher.
Okay.
But in order to build the lighthouse, the U.S. Congress actually put aside $80,000 in 1880, which is about, and I did the conversion, unlike you, who never does the conversion.
I literally did last time. I literally did for the construction of the chateau. It was $1,200,000.
Nope, can't be an even amount. You're a liar. Anyway, $2,737,000.
Listeners, listen back.
$365.52 in 2024.
Okay, I was not listening to you at all because I was arguing and defending myself. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, sure. It cost now, if you were to build it now, it would be $2,737,365 million and 52 cents.
$265 million?
$2 million. $2,737,365 and 52 cents.
I love that they just throw on that 52 cents at the end.
52 cents. Well, I mean, okay, it's got to be a good conversion.
It's like, here, I gotta... oh, man, I'm short 2 quarters.
I know.
What's a girl to do?
2 pennies.
What's a girl to do? Pocket change.
I guess. I guess you're not building a lighthouse, unfortunately.
Damn it. Guys, we were so close to our goal.
Shucks, you should have subbed to the Patreon.
We don't have a Patreon. We couldn't handle a Patreon. Patreon needs you to put things out consistently in order to get money, and we can't even do that. Let alone get money.
Whose fault is that?
Listen, it's not my fault that
you need to put it on Spotify.
Okay, I keep telling you that. And I keep offering to give you my card information, and you say, no, I'm going to then take your card information and buy things.
I don't trust myself with your card information.
Exactly. But you're the one that's doing all the things, so you need to grow the up and be responsible.
Fair enough.
And not commit fraud and steal my money.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have given me your credit card information.
I haven't given you my card information for this exact reason, because we keep going back and forth on this.
Dude, you give me that credit card information.
It's not a credit card, it's a debit card.
Gone, bro. Trading card booster packs at the door.
I'm like, where did you get all these dice? And you're like, don't worry about it.
Don't check your bank account, please.
After I make you all those dice bags,
dice to feed them in, put in them.
You're right. I mean, at the end of the day, it's my fault.
Yeah, you should have not fed the addiction. Anyway.
Sorry, what were you talking about?
Lighthouse building.
Right.
The U.S. Congress also purchased a parcel of land from 2 homesteaders named Welcome E. and Dolly Warren.
His name was Welcome?
His name was Welcome.
Dude, that's a kick-ass name.
It is a pretty cool name. It was about 19 acres. I'd like you to try to guess how much money they paid.
How much they paid for 19 acres in what,
1880?
1880. I'm going to guess they paid $27.
$825, actually.
Okay, that was going to be my next guess.
No, it was not. I And then after they're like, all right, we got the funds set aside, we got a place to build it, they're like, well, now we don't have a road to get any of the building materials up. So then
that should have been
That should have been number one.
That should have been number one.
Which is why they immediately built a road.
How much of that budget from the lighthouse went to building the road? Imagine they spent it all on the road and they're like, we got to get another grant from Congress.
It cost $80,000 to make this. It didn't actually say how much money from the grant went.
Well, I mean, back then roads were like what, made of straw and dirt.
It would be like, I don't know, $50.
Yeah, all you do is you like mow the grass down and then let a couple wagons go by and you're like, okay, boom, there's a road.
Wagon road. But they built a wagon road from Heceta Head to Florence, which is technically the town that the lighthouse is located in. It's about a 12-mile distance.
God bless Florence. That's where I work. Sometimes. Really? Yeah.
Awesome. You could go to the haunted lighthouse.
I can't. I'm working.
Well, you could.
I mean, I'd have to take time out of my work day. Yeah, let me take my government vehicle away from where it's meant to be.
That's a coward's talk.
Listen, man. Listen, I'm going to be on the Sayusla next week. So maybe I'll drive by and see how far I can make it. I'll do a little ghost hunt. Ooh. Yeah, don't tell my supervisors.
I hope they don't listen to this. That'd be kind of
awkward. Oh, they definitely don't. Just kidding.
Sweet.
They might. Hi, Michael. How you doing?
So the original lighthouse had many different things, like a barn, kerosene oil houses. I bet you can't guess what that is. It's a house to keep kerosene oil in.
You're about to ask me what kerosene oil was, and I was like,
I know what kerosene oil is.
Does it come from Wales?
I actually don't know. Probably.
It probably comes from Wales.
I mean, it was used to light the light.
Probably Wales. Oil lamps, yeah.
The head keeper's house, and one more house for the assistant keepers.
They get their own separate house?
The assistant keepers get their own separate house.
They need assistant keepers?
Look, when it's not all mechanized, that's a lot of work.
I know that's a lot of work, but like...
You realize how heavy barrels of kerosene are?
Oh, you have to roll them up all those stairs?
I know. You gotta have two big men carry them up the stairs. And then you also have like all the wives.
And then you drop one and it just goes tumbling down and then they're all covered with oil and then you just have a little slip and slide.
Yep, and then they fall all the way back down the stairs. That's why you have multiple. The assistant keepers are backups in case that happens.
Yeah, they're there to help mop up when you spill the kerosene.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is their only job.
Yes. And the road to the lighthouse was finished in 1892. So from getting the grant, it took them 2 years to build the road. And
how long was the road?
12 miles.
Oh,
about.
Okay.
And then the lighthouse...
It took them 2 years to build a 12-mile road.
The lighthouse was done in 1893. It took them a year to build a lighthouse and double that time to make the road to get the materials to the lighthouse.
Listen, they got to make sure that the horses can get through.
I mean, you kind of have to. You're not getting any materials if you don't. But the light was...
They probably had to, like, cut down trees and stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. They definitely had to use logging and all that fun stuff. Mm-hmm. And the light was first lit on March 30th, 1894. And the lighthouse actually got its own schoolhouse and post office because they had a class of about 13 kids going to school there. It was just like...
What?
The kids of the keeper and the assistant keeper.
They had 13 kids?
Total.
Between the two families,
the head keeper.
How many of them died in infancy? These are ones that lived. How many didn't make it?
I don't know.
Is there a little graveyard there next to the schoolhouse, the one-room schoolhouse?
We'll get there.
Oh That was supposed to be a joke.
We'll get there.
Oh no!
However,
all these women popping out 13 kids.
There was a fair. There's a pretty. Ooh, I'm sorry. I just yanked the mic away from my face. That probably sounds horrible. I'm sorry. There was a fair amount of keepers, but the most important one is a man named Florido. He goes by Frank DeRoy, who was the keeper from 1920 to 1925. He was an assistant keeper before then as well.
Oh, so he worked his way up.
He worked his way up. He was assistant keeper there at the Heceta Head, then he got transferred to a different lighthouse, and then he came back when the older guy retired.
Yeah, he came back to his roots.
And then worked there until he retired.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So during my research, I found a very interesting thing. So during a Ouija board session that they did at the lighthouse.
Absolutely not.
The people doing the session contacted a spirit named Rue, R-U-E. And now we get go into the fun story time, which is the most believed origin of the ghost. Mostly the ghost is described as a kind of like a Victorian era woman. She's wearing that Victorian era dress, the usual of ghost women.
Absolutely not.
And how the story goes was this is actually slightly unclear. The woman, Frank DeRoy, had 2 children. Mm-hmm. I believe it was 1 daughter and 1 son.
Okay, so then where did the other 11 kids come from?
This is after that.
Oh.
This is after, way after.
I'm stupid.
It's okay. I didn't make it very clear. The daughter ended up passing away. That is either due to drowning because she fell off the bluff into the ocean.
Don't do that.
Or she fell into a cistern and drowned there.
A what?
A cistern.
What's that?
That's a great question.
What's a cistern?
I think it's similar
to
a... yeah, okay, so it's like a storage tank for water, basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like a water... Okay, like a water tank. Okay,
so
okay.
That either happened to her or she died of scarlet fever.
Okay, so she either drowned or she died of scarlet fever.
Most people believe she drowned.
Classic.
Yes. However...
Teach your kids to swim.
This is the story that I have heard. So the woman lost her child at sea, and then in order, in her grief and such, she threw herself off of the bluff.
So the mom did?
The mom did, and committed suicide.
After losing her daughter.
Yeah,
she's like, yeah, sorry I have my own husband and son, but I lost my little baby girl, so...
And this is where it gets a little bit...
Did she throw herself off the bluff, or did she, maybe jump in to try to save her daughter?
That was another thing. That is the story that my parents were told, that she jumped in to save her daughter, and they both ended up drowning.
Okay, I find that more believable.
Yeah, which, fair enough. However, in the research I found, no reported death of either. However, up the hill a slight ways, there is an unmarked grave. One unmarked grave.
How do we know that it's there, though, if it's unmarked?
I think they found a body.
Oh!
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know. Ooh.
Of a little girl?
It was not really...
A person?
Yes, it was a person.
It was a grave of a person.
It was an unmarked grave. But the thing is with that is... Because I actually got to go to the official documentation of the lighthouse. They have a website that shows all the keepers, and they don't list any of the spouses, which is kind of a problem. However, the last final kicker, we do know Frank DeRoy's wife's name, and it is not Rue. It is Jenny. It's Jenny DeRoy.
Okay, I thought you were about to tell me it was like Elizabeth. I was going to be like, oh.
Jenny DeRoy.
Okay.
So that unfortunately means I can't guarantee that, Jenny or whoever this Rue person is threw herself off a cliff or not, but that was the story that I heard from my parents, who heard it from the people at the lighthouse.
The official people that are giving super official tours.
However, it is confirmed for certain that there is at least one unmarked grave up the hill.
Okay.
There could be more, but they haven't found any more.
Okay. Until we get there and I start poking around.
Maybe don't dig in it. It's a historic spot, actually. I think it's considered a national park. Maybe don't do that.
Okay, wait. Maybe that might be super illegal. Okay, I'll do it.
No, it's like turbo legal.
Oh, okay. I'll do it at night.
All right, man.
That way nobody can see me.
You just admitted to plotting to commit a crime. This is not going to look good.
This is not going to look good.
I hope they have to listen to the whole episode in court, though.
Honestly... Viewers?
Don't say worth. That's not worth. You're going to be going to jail. But yeah, so there is a Victorian woman in that lighthouse, which is sort of like a bed and breakfast the keeper's house is now.
Oh, you can stay there?
Yeah, the keeper's house is like a bed and breakfast type thing, which is where my parents actually stayed.
Cute.
Yeah, although they knocked down a whole bunch of stuff, like the assistant keeper's house was demolished. I think the kerosene shed was demolished when it got...
Is the schoolhouse still there?
Schoolhouse, I believe, is gone. Basically, other than the head keeper's house and the lighthouse, kind of all got cut down. Because they didn't need it anymore. Mm-hmm. So they're like, whatever. I mean, I don't see why you would not want to keep it up, but teach their own.
This is back before they were like, this is going to be a historic thing. This is probably like 30 years later, and they're like, well, this is garbage. Guess we'll bulldoze it.
Pretty much, yeah. But now we've actually gotten into what happens with the ghost.
Is this also Rue?
This is Rue. This is the only... People only say that Rue is the only ghost there.
Do we know if Rue is a boy or a girl? A baby?
Well, it's described as an older woman in a Victorian-era dress. So I would assume a woman.
Oh, I thought you said that was the ghost of the woman that died. Do we know if that's Rue? I'm confused.
The woman, there's only one sighted ghost.
Okay.
She has identified herself as Rue. She is a...
Through the Ouija board?
Yes, through the Ouija board. And
Okay,
she is a older woman in a Victorian era dress.
An older woman?
An older woman.
Well, how old was the keeper's wife when she allegedly threw herself? Okay, well, how old was her daughter?
We don't know.
Okay.
It can't be 100% confirmed.
Okay.
Definitely a ghost, though.
Yeah, that can be confirmed. That we know for sure.
No, that definitely can.
That we know for sure.
There's a sighting here that, like, definitely confirms.
That there is a ghost there?
It's 100% true.
Yeah.
Ghosts are real.
1,000%.
She came up and she touched whoever was there. She was like,
she got a notary to sign it.
I am a real ghost. Give me a pen.
They got it on camera.
I will write my commandments. No.
And the Lord said.
Although, actually, from this, your ghosts generally kind of like, I like throwing stuff and I like being mean and stuff. Rue is a nice ghost.
I'm still having trouble getting over the fact that there was just some people around with the Ouija board.
Yeah. Not my jam. Personally.
Absolutely not. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
So, let's get into stuff she does. Oftentimes, guests say that they smell the scent of flowers or rose perfume around the place. Although that could just be like, that's the, whatever in the house. That's just what the housekeepers do. The housekeepers be like, no, we don't use the rose perfume or nothing. Sometimes you'll hear footsteps in the hallway, or you'll hear footsteps above you, specifically if you're in one room, because there's only one room with access to the attic of the house, and you hear footsteps in the attic a lot.
But only from that one room.
Only from that one room.
Okay.
And sorry, go ahead.
So they just, because this Rue gal is the only one that they've talked about, they just think that this is all her?
Yeah.
Okay, so she's just here by herself?
I guess so. Possibly ghost girl. Maybe she's more shy.
I guess that's fair.
She's a child who probably drowned or died of scarlet fever. One or the other. Both of those are not a good way to go.
Both of those are not a good way to go.
Although I will say, throwing yourself off a cliff is not great either. If it's true.
Yeah.
If it's true. Other things that happen is you'll see imprints in your bed.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so
good night. No, thank you. No touch. No touchy.
Account I saw. It's so funny. This lady was talking about how she got into bed and she felt and I quote, presence settle into bed next to her for 4 or 5 hours.
And she just didn't get up.
Move.
She's like, I guess I'll be Little Spoon.
Dude, imagine how imagine you're like, man, it's so hot here. We're on the Oregon coast. It's summer, which it's not actually that hot. But say we are. The heater's going in the room.
Yeah.
And then you got a ghost person lay down. You're like, dude, I got an AC unit in here now.
Nice
on the bed.
Breezy. I swear to God, if I am ever laying in bed and I feel somebody lay down next to me,
ooh.
My soul is leaving my body. I am astral projecting to another realm, and I'm coming back, and I'm beating the shit out of that ghost.
I don't think it'd be that bad.
Do not. Well, you're touch starved.
True. That's why I don't think it would be that bad. I'd allow it.
I don't like that. Grosses me out. Don't touch me.
Dude, I'd be putting my arm out. I'd be like, you can snuggle closer if you want.
Are you Big Spoon or Little Spoon?
Depends on how big the ghost is, I guess.
They
can't even hog the bed, though, because they're incorporeal.
Imagine you get kicked out of the bed by a ghost.
That would be so mad.
Just kicks you in the gut, and then you just get pushed off the side of the bed.
As soon as the people from WWE start haunting places, you just get drop kicked by a ghost.
You get put into a headlock.
They're there. I got you for 3 minutes. You're like, what? What's going on? 3 minutes of me time.
Good Lord.
There's more, by the way.
Okay, so she snuggles with people.
Smells very nice, walks around. People have also heard furniture being moved in the attic.
Again with the attic. What's the deal with the attic? Why would she give a shit about the attic?
I don't know, but there's one more thing about the attic. Apparently there was a guy...
Did he hang himself in the attic?
He did not hang himself in the attic. This is not a death story.
Okay.
A guy was cleaning an attic window, and he saw... He was, because it's an old house.
He's like squeaking it. He's got the little Windex with his little cloth.
Basically, that's what I imagine. And
he's polishing it.
He happened to...
He goes and he just wipes it.
No, he happens to look just off to the side and he sees a reflection.
Good night.
And in that reflection is the full spiritual form of a older woman in a Victorian era dress. So he whips around, and there she is.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yes.
He turns around and she's still there.
She is still there. She's not just in the reflection. So he fled from the room, somehow breaking the window in the process.
Did he jump out?
To my knowledge, no, he did not jump out the window.
He just in his haste, he punched a hole in the window.
He broke the window somehow. He went, oh, shoot, and then ran out. And he refused to go back in the attic.
Did he have to run through her because she was behind him?
I guess he had to like football dodge, do the little like tippity tappies and then flip off to the side. However, he did end up coming back actually, and he did fix the window. So at least he's committed to his job. However,
he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh God.
He got a big ass ladder and did it from the outside though. He didn't go back into the attic.
What if he was like installing it and then he like saw her again like through the window?
He's like, come on.
She's like standing at the window. She's like inspecting it. She's like,
When he broke the window, he did not tell any of the staff because he kind of just like booked it out there and like didn't talk.
Yeah, he didn't want to tattle on himself.
Yeah. And so they didn't know about any of it. And so one of the people happened to be cleaning around their room and beneath the attic, and they heard sweeping from the upstairs attic, and they're like, "That's weird. I wonder what that sound is." And it's one of those attics that's kind of like the attic door that you like pull down. It's got the stairs attached.
Yeah, the ones that like they hit you in the face.
Yeah, and they had those. So they they did that, and they walk up, and what do you know? The broom that was in the attic is now leaned up against a different spot than they put it, and the shards of glass are swept into a nice little pile.
She's sweeping up his mess.
Swept up his mess.
She was like, this fucking guy. And she's like...
Apparently... Oh, no, sorry. Apparently the caretaker was sleeping in that room. They happened to be sleeping in the room, and they awoke to the sound of sweeping.
They were sleeping in the attic?
No.
They were sleeping in the room below the attic. I mean, good for her for being responsible and being like, oh, I gotta pick up this glass before somebody hurts themselves. But also, I can only imagine her, like, muttering to herself. It's like, God damn it, the fucking guy.
There's no dustpan up here.
I need a paper bag to put this in, otherwise it's gonna cut through everything.
Also...
everybody be really careful. Put your shoes on. I can't sweep up all the glass. Hold on. There might be little shards.
Yes. Watch your toes.
Watch your little tootsies.
She also... people have also claimed to see a woman sitting in a chair. They hear tippity-tappities on their walls. She also apparently cleans windows.
Yeah, probably because she's really protective after that one that got broken. She's like, well, if I can't trust anybody... I'm sorry, I have to do it. I have to do it myself. If you want something done properly, you have to do it yourself.
Imagine you walk in your room, there's like a floating rag and Windex bottle, and it's like... and it's just like, the spirit world.
It's like, it opens a little portal.
Yeah. And the last thing she does is she likes to move things around. As you do. And her favorite thing to do is hiding things, so you cannot find them.
Girl, I already can't... I never know where my wallet, keys, and phone are all at the same time.
Well, don't you worry, because she always returns them.
Yeah, conveniently right before you leave. And yeah, but I've already at that point had a panic attack.
Yeah, you're like, no!
I'm like, where's my wallet?
No, where did it go? But
imagine she steals my crochet hook. I swear to God.
You're throwing hands with a ghost.
I am. If I come back to my room to work on my project and I'm like, oh, after a long day, and I go to sit down and I can't find my freaking crochet hook, it's on site. It is on site. Okay, that is the one occasion I will whip out a Ouija board just to go,
give it back!
Y-O-U. I spell out, give it back, please.
Give it back, Rue.
I swear to God, I will vex you from this place.
But now we get into the really fun part. And that is...
the interview with your parents.
The story directly from my parents.
Slay.
I know. They went there actually on an anniversary trip.
Cute.
Yeah, I know. It was very cute.
Aww.
I don't remember exactly what anniversary. I was like 12.
Okay, I was literally about to ask, did you exist as a human being yet?
I did exist as a human being. But they went there, and I wouldn't say my mom is easy to scare. I'm not sure she 100% believes in ghosts, but she did hear some things.
Okay. I trust your mom fully.
I also...
I mean, she spells her name right.
True.
So.
Stacy's Unite.
Stacy's Unite.
Stacy's Unite. They did not, to my knowledge, they did not get the attic room, or the room below the attic.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly, though. To be honest, I probably should have asked, but I didn't think about it until just now. Now I look like a fool.
Call your mom right now.
No, I'm not doing that. That would be
Excuse
funny,
me, Mrs. Lambing?
Mom, what room were you in when you were in the haunted hotel? She's like, what? What are you talking about? But no,
And she does the mom thing where she just starts rambling about literally anything else.
Yeah, no, she probably would.
We're gonna be on the phone for 45 minutes.
And we can stretch that out.
We could.
We could stretch it out. I mean, we've already been going for about
31 minutes.
But they're getting all cozy, nice in bed. And my dad sleeps like a rock.
Classic dad.
Classic dad. And my mom awakes late in the evening. She hears, for what she described, I don't know if she's making this up or not, rattling. As in rattling chains.
Insert chain sounds here.
No, not again. I already used that stupid quack sound. But she hears something like a little ching, ching, ching.
I am imagining like tin cans.
It's like an intruder trap.
Yeah.
And she's like, what is that? And she hears a little light tippy tap right by her head on the headboard of her bed. A little doom, 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 doom. So she jolts out of bed. She's like, what the hell was that? She wakes up my dad. My dad, was like, I didn't hear anything. What are you talking? I don't know why I'm doing a fun voice. My dad sounds almost exactly like me.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't know. I didn't hear anything. I was dead asleep. She was like, this place is freaky, all right? And he's like, it's probably nothing. We can just go back to sleep.
Was it like on the back side of the headboard, like against the wall? Like a little like tap, tap, tap. Mm-hmm. Good night.
Little ding, 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 ding. You know the sound they make.
Yeah. Listen, as somebody that for a short period of my life had a mouse living in my wall that would scurry past my head.
Ooh.
I would be like, God damn it, you just hear like a little like
Is that a ghost?
Yeah, I would have been like, a mouse, and I would have pleasantly rolled back over and tried not to think about it.
I'm sure you would have.
Yeah. Anyway, continue.
No, that was it.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. That's my haunted story. I just thought it was fun.
Was this a request by your parents?
No, I just chose it.
You're like, you should talk about this thing.
Actually, my dad did make a request, which I will probably be doing later on. Because
yeah, aren't we going to go to his fire station or whatever?
Because he said there was a apparently haunted fire station that he has stayed in, and I believe he said he actually has heard stuff there. Oh
my God, when can we go?
I don't know. I could probably just call him. He'd be like, sure, come on down. I don't know if we'd be able to spend the night there. Never know, though. The fireman.
Can I slide down the pole?
I don't know if that one has a pole. My dad...
Stupid.
He used
What
it.
the hell? You can't have a fire station without a pole.
The main one that he goes to has a pole. I never got to slide down when I was a kid. I was so mad. I wanted to slide down a fire pole so bad. But I probably would have just let go and just fall on 12 feet.
You just got to commit.
Yeah, fair enough.
You just got to go for it.
Fair enough. But yeah.
I love it.
Honestly, I've also been there. Beautiful, beautiful view. I mean, it's right on the coast, as lighthouses generally are.
I mean, if to be perfectly 1,000% honest, the first thing I'm going to be looking at is I'm going to start looking for rocks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to immediately going to go hop down onto the beach and look for big rocks and then look at the tide pools.
So the Heceta Head lighthouse, it also actually has about a half-mile paved path that you can go from a little parking lot to get down to just the lighthouse, and then the guest house, the keeper's house, is a little bit a tiny bit further away than that.
Okay. But my point stands is that I am immediately walking right past that lighthouse.
I don't think you have beach access by the lighthouse.
I'll have beach access. Don't you worry.
You're gonna be the second ghost there.
I will. You just hear
Daphne, god dang.
You're like, she died doing what she loved.
There were no whale sharks down at the bottom of that bluff, Daphne.
No, but you know what there are? I bet there's sea anemones though.
Yeah, probably. They'll be eating you when you crack your head open like an egg.
Yeah, my little babies. It all comes full circle.
True, honestly.
I'm looking for shells. I'm finding weird things. I'm look at all the invertebrates that are here. That's so cool.
That's why I'm never going to the beach with you, because you're just going to autistic rant about.
That's 1,000% what I do. The last time Shay and I went to the beach, I was with Nemo also, and then Nemo and I dead ass like looked at each other and we're like, well, we're gonna go look at the rocks, and we walked 2 miles away from the group. We were like, bye, and we didn't tell anybody. And then all of a sudden, like 45 minutes later, Shay sticks his head up and is out of the hole that he's digging, and he's like, where did my girlfriend go?
I would have been with Shay and the rest of the guys digging a big old hole.
And then Nemo and I were gone for like 2 hours because we had to walk. I was like, well, there's distant rocks way over there, and I'm going that way. And then we did.
We can't take you anywhere.
We did find some cool things.
I bet you did.
I mean, I thought they were cool.
I like the Oregon coast. It's a nice place.
It is a great place.
Really
but
nice
most of the things that I think are cool, a lot of people think are kind of lame.
Because they are lame.
No, they're so cool. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen a tide pool?
I have. I really like tide pools.
Dude,
they're cool.
That's rocks.
Literally.
Rocks.
Literally rocks.
And animals that look like rocks.
Lots of
you ever seen a chitin? Dude,
probably.
They're so cool. My back hurts.
You're sitting in a horrible position.
I am.
Maybe, I don't know. Do you think next episode's going to be the last? No, you don't have a computer built yet for recording stuff.
I don't know. Talk to Shay.
What do you want me? Bro, he's a busy man.
He is a busy man, but he knows more about that stuff than I do. I just sit here and look cute.
You don't even do that very well.
You fucking asshole.
Dude, you opened that door so easily, dude. Alright, well, I want to hear about Bigfoot throwing rocks at people. Let's hear it.
Okay, are you ready?
I think so.
Okay.
I like Bigfoot a lot. He's a Bigfoot's another S tier cryptid.
Okay, well, make that freaking tier list like you said you were going to.
Yeah, I should.
Okay. For those of you that are, this is the first time you're listening, hi, welcome. Go listen to the last episode for some context.
It's a part 2!
This is a part 2, baby. Time for part 2. Just as a little bit of a recap, last week I talked about the Oregon Caves and the Oregon Cave Chateau, which is located in the Siskiyou National Forest, and it's in southern Oregon, and it's 6 miles north of the California border, and it's pretty cool. Yeah. We had a great time, but today
apparently people also get assaulted by forest spirits and Bigfoot here, though, so I don't know if I want to go.
Slay.
I hope not literally.
They were literally slayed.
They were slain. They found their heads on tree
on little spikes. Yeah, on pikes.
The Bigfoot have big feet.
The big feet.
Big
Bigfoots
feet have unionized. Is it like geese or is it like moose?
I think Bigfoot is plural.
Probably, that makes sense. There were lots of Bigfoot, or there is a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Bigfoot in of itself is plural.
Probably.
But that's why I think a lot of people, especially if you're talking to cryptozoologists, they refer to them as Sasquatch. Whoa. Or Sasquatches.
Sasquatch is technically the proper term, but I like saying Bigfoot more.
Bigfoot is a little bit more fun to say, but I think...
Sasquatch isn't bad either.
Listen, trying to explain to Eugenia what Oregon's obsession was with Bigfoot, because she'd never heard of them before...
Dude.
For context, Eugenia's from Spain. Yeah, and she was visiting, and she's like, "What are all these images of this weird like ape thing?"
Hairy man.
And I'm like, "Okay, well, for context, welcome to Oregon."
Dude, when we get the Patterson Gimlin footage, that's gonna have to be a whole episode.
We're going to talk about it. Okay, so this area is actually only like 70 miles north from where that footage was taken. But anyway, so last episode, I talked about the Oregon Caves and the Chateau. Today we're expanding it out into the forest, which is the Rogue River Siskiyou National Forest, and it covers about 1,723,179 acres, or 697,346 hectaacres.
Cool.
Is a big spot. Lots of trees, and as we also discussed last episode, the terrain is also freaking insane.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful, but there's like lots of up and down. There's like deep channels and valleys, and it's like really steep hiking trails and things like that.
Visit Oregon. Don't live here though.
Yeah, don't move here. How dare you?
It's too expensive already.
It is too expensive.
I'm never going to be able to afford a house. Not off a podcaster's wage, which is currently zero. Please listen. Just put this on repeat in the background on mute. Money, please. Okay, so we're going
to talk about just the area in general, and it has been deemed a hotspot for specifically Bigfoot sightings. And I would just like to put this out there. In my previous episode, I alluded to the fact of talking about
an attack.
Yeah, that, and also Wendigos and flesh saunterers.
Huh?
Skinwalkers, but you're not supposed to say that.
Oh. Well, you just did.
Okay, but I wasn't trying to. I figured you'd get flesh saunterers.
Well, it sounds more like a zombie.
It does, but I'm trying not to say it. Anyway, I dug so freaking hard, could not find any actual evidence or stories from either of those.
Well, that's good.
I know. Apparently, it's just like, oh yeah, they're out there. Anyway, and then like you move on and you go back to talking about Bigfoot. And I'm like, okay, but do you have... There's got to be some person out here that's got a story. Any articles? Anything at all? No. Not a damn thing. They're just like, oh yeah, they're out there. See, but don't ask any more questions because we don't have actually any evidence of it.
Bigfoot
but they're there.
Is one thing, dude. But like when you start getting into like weird spiritual monsters, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't want to get eaten by the big cannibal.
Do you think Bigfoot's an alien?
No, and people who think Bigfoot's an alien are the stupidest people I ever met.
Chime off in the comments.
No.
Fight with Tucker.
Dude, they're... Okay, well, we're going on a side tangent. There are people who are like, oh yeah, Bigfoot's an alien, and the reason why we never find bodies is because the only ones that you see are escaped from alien game preserves. They're like a lesser species, and so when you spot them, they've broken out of the game preserve, and they all have tracking chips, and they take them back to the game preserve, and they don't find bodies because they recover them before you can find them, and it's like, take your tinfoil hat off and go to your real jobs. They're not aliens. I will fight any person who thinks that Bigfoot is an alien.
Do you think they're descendants of Gigantopithecus?
Most likely.
I mean, as a biologist, I feel like that's the most likely explanation.
That's the most plausible. I mean, they're big, intelligent apes. They're either related to us or another ape. There's not much.
Well, they're either related to us or they're another ape that is related to us.
Yep.
Because all apes are related.
Yep. Also, if you think they're aliens, I'm gonna find you.
But please listen. We need the views.
No,
also comment.
If it's an alien, close the video. It's not for you. You made it 3 minutes in?
Yeah. Close it.
You're done.
Goodbye.
I'm blocking you. You can't listen to this anymore. Get out of my face.
We finally found the topic that gets you as heated as me as Megalodon.
And if Bigfoot is an alien,
I didn't think it would be that. I'm sorry, I didn't think it would be that hot of a subject for you.
Touchy subject.
Clearly, good lord.
I would elbow drop someone who said that. Me and Bigfoot would team up to prove them wrong. Honestly.
Okay, well, Shay's in the other room, so you just have to go grab him.
Honestly, though, again, another side tangent. Dude, imagine if we find like a population of them, and we're like, all right, you're gonna get into pro wrestling now, and they're like, bet.
Well, think about last time I mentioned making football teams of all the cryptids. They can just be.
Bigfoot would be a hell of a linebacker.
Yeah, unstoppable.
Really, the grafted monster of Bigfoot. That's all the linebacker you need. What?
I was just thinking of that, just like you got them and they're like their little helmets, but they don't really have a chin because their face is flat, so you have to just like somehow strap it to their little dome monkey heads. Oh man.
Never know.
Would you put cleats on them?
I think they got big enough feet. I don't think you need cleats for Bigfoot. They got enough grip.
With their little tootsies.
They're little? They're called Bigfoot, bro. They don't got little tootsies.
They're big old toes.
Yeah, it's big feet, bro. Big toes.
One thing this literally just occurred to me. I don't know why I've never thought about this before. For all other apes, they have opposable toes on their feet. Yeah. And Bigfoot don't. Of course, I guess we don't.
Yeah, exactly.
But wouldn't you think they'd have little opposable... I'm thinking about this too much now.
Well, I mean, realistically, if a Bigfoot was going to have...
If it's solely bipedal...
Yeah, there's no point.
There's no point in having...
Yeah. I don't know if they spend a lot of time in the trees from documentation. I know some of them do.
I think have you seen that video of like the like quote unquote like juvenile one that's in a tree and like swinging around?
No, but I could see it. I always imagine Bigfoot. They're like more upright orangutans is what I always imagine them as. By the way, another side tangent. Orangutans are so cool. They're so nice.
They kind of freak me out.
I like them a lot.
I like them, but
they're
they kind
friendly.
of freak me. They are, but I don't like that they can rip my arms out of my sockets. Okay, but they could if they wanted to. They're so strong.
They're chill.
They're so strong.
They try to help people that are like pulling out of places in the wild and stuff. Orangutans are the most chill ape.
Yeah, they're super cool.
They're really nice.
But they do kind of freak me out.
They also can like learn sign language and stuff. Are they the closest to us?
No,
That's
chimps
chimpanzee.
are.
I don't like chimps.
I don't like chimps either. They freak me out.
Chimps, I would agree actually. Chimps really do freak me out.
They're like too smart.
They're too
like
smart
cunning.
and they're very mean.
They are really mean. Do you know they like eat each other?
Yeah. They also like rip people's faces off for like no reason.
Yeah, that's why you don't keep them as pets.
No.
Do you think if we were to find Bigfoot, there'd start this like it would be like Tiger King but for Bigfoot, and you'd have like this like
100%.
you'd have these like crazy coked out white people that are like,
yes,
I live with the Bigfoots, they are my family, I've been raising them for 6 generations.
Yes, they would. There would be people like grinding down like Bigfoot bones, like you know how they take like white rhino horns and make them into like boner pills? You get the Bigfoot pack, the Bigfoot boost.
You get like Bigfoot skinned coats.
Ooh, that's barbaric.
That is barbaric.
So anyway, Bigfoot attack.
Anyway, sorry.
How long was that? That was like a 6 minute.
That was like a 6-minute tangent.
Oh well.
Okay. So I'm just going to run through a couple of the most recent sightings, and then we're going to go into the big one that I want to talk about today. Okay. So we're not actually going to be talking about Bigfoot as a whole. That's going to be its own separate thing. I'm just specifically going to be talking about this one sighting.
Okay.
But for some context, so in the year 2000, there was a couple that heard what they referred to as echoing calls through the forest near the caves. So I don't know if they were staying at the chateau and they like woke up to that, or if they were just like out and about and they heard some wailing. But that was in 2000. Mm-hmm. And then in July 1st, 2001, we have the one that I'm going to talk about here in a second. So keep that in mind. So there were these 2 sightings in July.
Okay.
2 sightings in 2000. And then, but there's the big one in July, and we're going to be coming back to that. And then in 2005, hikers described seeing a tall, hairy, bipedal creature near the cave's entrance.
Ooh.
Wow. And then there was like no other info on that.
Oh, there's like, yeah, we saw it.
They're like, yeah, so there was this like big tall thing. Anyway, it's because the problem I kept running into is that this other bigger sighting like got all the hubbub, the hype, and then kind of overshadowed literally everything else.
I mean, I'm assuming you'll be telling me why it was overshadowed everything else.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll get to it. And then in 2006, there was a father and son that heard strange sounds while camping in the area, which honestly could have literally have been anything.
True. Woods are scary.
Woods are scary.
Dude,
The only time they're not scary is when you're on a scout trip and you're surrounded by like 12-year-old children.
Yeah, that's because you know that you have enough of an army you could just jump any
Or you know they already
make
make enough noise to scare anything else
that too.
off.
But also, dude, if Bigfoot ran into me when I was on one of my scout trips when I was still in scouts, we would have probably captured that thing. We would have mobbed it.
You just sick the Boy Scouts
We'd
on
be like
it.
a pack of piranhas.
You pick it clean in less than 5 minutes.
So that's what the echoing calls were. Sorry, continue.
Sorry, I just got a notification that my laptop's about to die.
Dude, bro.
This thing's battery does not hold.
Why don't you bring the charger?
Because I'd have to unplug it and then bring it all the way in here.
Oh, no.
Hit the stop button.
Hit the stop button. I don't want to edit it.
And we're back.
Yeah.
Oops. Ah-ha-ha-ha-ha.
This is all getting cut out. You can just keep talking.
I have my charger now. Okay, what were we talking about?
Sounds
2006. 2006, Sounds in the Woods, father and son. Right.
Right.
Could have arguably been anything, and then you were talking about how we would
mow Bigfoot down with a pack of Boy Scouts.
A pack of young children in uniforms.
It would work too.
Yeah, all with their little pocket knives and their whittling chits.
That, I will say, stabbing Bigfoot to death would probably get at least 2 corners taken off of each whittling chit present, though. That is not safe knife use.
No, you are within your blood circle.
Yeah, Bigfoot was within your blood circle.
Cut towards your buddy, not your body. Did you ever learn that? Or is that just my dad?
But like hearing it just like still sounds weird. Because it's like either harm myself or another.
No, you want to harm you want to cut away from your body.
No, I know. I just heard, also, cut away from your body.
Okay, when I was in Scouts, they had this whole thing that were like, no, it's called a safety circle. And my dad's like, it's a blood circle.
I remember when they first wanted to change it to safety circle, nobody called it that because calling it a blood circle like makes it hit more.
Yeah.
Because you're like, wow, I could like cut my fingers off.
Yeah.
And bleed to death.
My dad never went by that. He was like, it's your blood circle.
Yep,
like, it's a safety circle.
So did every
and he's
scout
like, it's a
leader
blood circle.
And every summer camp staff.
Okay, so that being said, Bigfoot, if you're listening, don't get within a Scout's blood circle because we will stab you.
I won't. I'll probably... Honestly, I'd high-five a Bigfoot. I'd dap up a Bigfoot. That'd be so cool.
I'm not sure how I feel about the whole thing. I think it would go by a case-by-case basis. But,
that's what happened.
The dap heard across the mountain.
Yeah, that's the real scary sounds. It was me dapping my homie Bigfoot up.
Okay, so those are all the little ones. We're gonna loop back now. I'm gonna take you back. It's July 1st.
Okay.
The year 2000.
Right.
You didn't exist yet.
No.
I did.
It's because you're old.
Yeah. I was a wee babe.
Oh well.
I was what? 5 months old? 6 months old?
Why are you asking me like I'm supposed to know?
5 months old. So we're gonna take you back to the year 2000. Take us back in the time machine, and this story comes from a guy named Matthew Johnson, which is the most basic name I've ever heard.
It's not John Smith.
No, but it's Matthew Johnson.
Yeah, could be worse.
Which is that's a man's name if I've ever heard one.
Sure is. John.
Anyway,
man,
so this guy, he is a psychologist, and he actually has his own private practice in Grants Pass, or at least he did at the time.
Oh, cool.
He is an Oregon native, but he did live in Alaska for a little over 20 years, and he was an avid outdoorsman. He's got a lot of experience outdoors and also a lot of experience with animals. He's had stories where he's like gotten like chased by grizzly bears before, and I'm like, that means you're getting too close to a grizzly bear.
Yeah,
absolutely
for
not.
Sure. Would not find me doing that.
Were you covered in like salmon?
Yeah. Just this will be so fun.
Just dancing around a lake, and you're just like, ooh, look at me.
Come get me, Mr. Grizzly Bear.
Oof. So he was there visiting the area and the chateau with his family, and it was him and his wife, and I'm assuming 2 kids. He just keeps referring to them as the kids, so I don't know if it was
that's probably like 2
or 3. So they actually that same afternoon they had just completed the cave tour.
Oh, nice.
And they had decided that they were going to do the Big Loop Trail, which is only 3 miles long.
So is this during the day?
This is during the day.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like early afternoon.
Okay.
So they were going to do the Big Loop Trail, which is only 3 miles, but keep in mind this is over extremely rough terrain.
Right.
Because of the slope and the steep inclines and everything. Yeah. It's not a intro level hike. Okay. And that being said, even though it's a popular hike, it's not the most popular hike because you do have to have like some experience,
a little knowledge,
and also it's not just for anybody who all of a sudden one day is like, oh, I'm gonna go hiking.
Let's go to the caves.
Yeah, you'd start at the caves, and then it's kind of a step up from that.
Right.
So they were going around this big loop. So it goes, you start at the chateau and you end at the chateau. Okay. So the loop, which is why it's called the Big Loop.
The loop.
Anyway, so the story goes that they were about a mile above the chateau, so about a mile away, and they were walking along this trail, and they smelled a very, very strong odor.
Dude, not the stank ape.
He described it as smelling as strong as a skunk, but not smelling like a skunk. And keep in mind, this is a man that has lived in Alaska. He is very familiar with outdoor animals. He's very familiar with what a skunk smells like. He's like, it was not a skunk. I know what a skunk smells like. It was not a skunk, but it had that thick, like
it burns
pungent.
your nose a little bit?
Yeah, it catches your nose. You're like, what the f- is that? Real nasty. And they're like all huddled around. They're like, what the hell is that? And they're like, oh god. So, but they're like, okay, this is terrible. Like, we're just gonna keep moving.
Yeah.
Like, maybe something's dead or whatever. So they continue along the trail, and about 60 feet below them, they can hear something moving through the brush. More specifically, they hear it making noise. So I am going to try to replicate the sound that it made. So in the interview, he was making a sound, and now I am going to pretend that I am him also making this sound.
Ooh, we're getting interactive.
We're getting interactive, so nobody come for me. But they described it as mammalian, like rumbling sounds, kind of a like a wah, 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 kind of sound, like a deep,
like from your diaphragm.
Yeah, like a deep, like guttural kind of rumbling.
Okay.
But definitely mammalian. I don't know if, I mean, we were just talking about, it's like you've been to like the zoo, and like sounds that an ape would make.
Yeah.
And so they would stop. And they would listen, and it would stop too.
Ooh.
And then they'd keep going, and it would start up again. Ooh. This like deep, like whoa sound.
So they're getting followed.
Yeah. And they were like, okay, that's, and they can still like kind of smell it, but like the wind has changed, so they can't smell it that much. And they're like, okay, this is there's clearly something around here, you know, like it's probably just an animal. And they're like, okay, well, we're just gonna keep moving, like we need to get out of this area. There's something here. So they hurry along, and it's him and his wife and his kids, and they walked another couple hundred yards. They keep going, and then eventually the kids need a break because they're tired. They want to sit down, and Matthew, this guy, he's like, well, I'm gonna walk off trail for a little bit. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Kids, you can sit around, and we'll reconvene here in a second.
Dude,
so
I'm gonna be so real with you. My kids are like, oh, I'm tired. I'm like, there's something falling. So I'm going, oh. No, you don't get to stop. We'll stop when we're done with this trail.
It's like, okay, up to, let's go.
Literally.
Yeah, but apparently like after a while they stopped hearing it and they stopped smelling it. So they were like, okay, we're probably okay.
They're probably out of the thick of it.
Yeah. But so they're like, okay, we're okay. The kids wanted to sit down, and so his wife sat down on the side of the trail, and she's like hanging out with the kids, and he's telling this whole story, and he is telling about how the kids are like, they find like a beetle and they're like poking at it, and they're like just having a good time, and he goes uphill to go to the bathroom.
Right.
So he goes kind of back down the trail a little bit and then up the side of the hill.
Yeah.
Because this area of the trail is on like a really steep incline.
Okay.
So he goes up, he goes to the bathroom, everything's great, and he turns around after he's done, and he watches this Sasquatch walk between trees and stand behind a bigger tree and then peek around, and it's watching his family.
Oh.
So it can't see him.
But it can see the rest
But
of them.
it can see his family. And I watched this interview with him many, many times because I had to keep rewatching it. But so just for some context, Matthew is 6'7".
Oh.
And about 300 pounds. And he said that this thing made him look small. Okay. He said this thing was absolutely massive, but it was covered in brown fur. It stood upright. It had a ape-like face. Mm-hmm. So he's like, And he said in that moment, like, all he felt was just absolute terror. Because it doesn't know that it can see him, but he can see that it's watching his family, his wife and his children.
Yeah.
And so he goes into protective dad mode.
Yeah.
And he runs down the side of the bank, and he doesn't look at the creature, because he doesn't want it to think that it has seen him and is, like, challenging it in any way. He's like, so in his mind, he's like, just treat it like it's a grizzly bear. Like, don't look at it. Don't initiate it. So he, like, gathers up his family, and he's like, move, we gotta move. And his family's like, what the hell is going on? And he's like, he's described himself as kind of like a pretty, like, chill, laid back guy, but he was, like, extremely distraught. Yeah. And so they, like, they, like, gathered up the kids, and they immediately, like, book it down the trail, because they're far enough away that the only way that they're going to get out of this is they have to keep going. They have to keep going around the trail. They're not going to go back the way they came.
No, because now you got a big, hairy thing in the way.
So they go another couple 100 yards, and he tells his wife what he saw. And this is the part of the interview where he actually, like, still to this day, he, like, starts crying. He gets, like, really emotional. Because it was absolutely terrifying for him. But he's like, if this thing comes up, you grab the kids and you run. And you do not turn around. Because he's like, I'm going to stand back and, like, try to fight this thing if it comes after the kids. And as I just mentioned, this man is huge. This is a huge human being. And he's like, my resistance would be minimal, but I would have to do what it takes to protect my kids. And he was like, and then after that, they didn't hear anything else. Like, they kept moving, they didn't look back, and they just, like, kept getting around, and they eventually completed it, and they got all the way back to the chateau, and he immediately told one of the rangers. And then the ranger told her supervisor, and then it spread around, and it turned into this whole thing. But to this day, Matthew still suffers from PTSD from it, like, really shook him up. And I'm watching all of these interviews and, like, listening to all these interviews that are, like, a decade later, and he still gets, like, choked up thinking about it. Like, he is extremely traumatized, because he genuinely feared for his family's safety in that moment. And then also his own, because he's like, this is something that you never expect to see, and then all of a sudden it's there. But anyway, so what then happened is it sparked off this huge media frenzy. But when he was talking to, like, the rangers and all these people, he spoke with, like, such vindication and, like, so much emotion that they immediately believed him. They're like, this guy isn't making this up. Also, he's a psychologist. He's a man of science. He's got his own practice.
What does he gain from making
He doesn't gain anything from making this up. Also, what? You're going to go see a psychologist that you think is crazy for seeing a Bigfoot? Like, no. Like, he knows that this isn't going to make him look good. But he wanted to tell people anyway, because he just felt like it was possibly, like, dangerous for other people. So the next day, he actually went back with one of the rangers to look for evidence, and they did find prints in the location where it was standing. And then there was, like, as I mentioned, there was this huge media frenzy. They were, like, all over Oregon. There were, like, all of these articles being written about it, all of these news stations. And then he actually ended up being contacted and working with the BFRO, the Bigfoot Research Organization, the big guys, which is considered the most credible source for Bigfoot hunting. Cool. And I'm like, slay, how do we work for them?
Yeah, honestly, give me an internship.
I know. Maybe I should have shot them an email and been like, hey guys, you need interns?
I'm looking for a job.
You need interns?
I like Bigfoot really much. He's my favorite cryptid.
And then, so they ended up going back and they found prints and, like, evidence of some sort of large creature that was in the area, and they were like, holy shit. Because then that little bit of doubt that they had believing this guy in the first place, even though he told his story and was incredibly believable.
They're like, well,
they were like, well, shit.
Here's some actual evidence.
Yeah.
Did they take castings?
They not from these ones.
Okay,
it was like there was like
ones.
too much like pine needle
Fair
stuff.
enough.
It wasn't like a crisp print, but you could see like
imprints
of things.
Interesting.
So this actually sparked off this whole thing. So Matthew has now like dedicated like the rest of his free time and like his hobbies is like trying to
investigate Bigfoot.
Is to like try to find them. So I'm gonna talk about this other guy now. He's super funny. There's this guy named Bill York. He gets in contact with, or who reaches out to him, and he is a professional tracker, and he's a wildlife biologist, and he's also British. Which is amazing. So this guy, he spent 30 years in Africa tracking animals. He's this like really cool guy, but he's got this British accent. He's like, and he's talking about like prints and stuff that we found. And he's like, okay, so now you can see here that you can see this larger toe here, and over here this is
like
a
a
small
nature
toe. Yeah, and I know, but I'm like, it's so crazy to hear somebody with a British accent talk about Bigfoot in Oregon.
It's a very North American thing.
1,000%. So that was very jarring, and he's like, I believe if you're around here long enough, you'll eventually run into one because you're gonna get this subconscious database of all the stuff that you're seeing, and you're eventually gonna see him. And it's good. And he was like talking, and he was just this guy. I love him so much.
Yeah.
But I thought that was really fun.
I will also say
it just made me laugh.
That was a pretty good British impersonation. I liked it. The accent worked pretty good.
It was. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I just thought it was so funny how all of a sudden you just had this.
He just jumps in. I also believe in Bigfoot.
He's like, I came here as a skeptic, right? And now.
And Bigfoot assaulted me in the forest.
Bigfoot did not, in fact, do that.
How do you know? That's the dark origin.
But anyway, Matthew and this team of people have now gone back out, and in of themselves, they've found, they've casted more footprints in leading years. They've gotten what looks like a hand cast, like kind of like
a knuckle print.
Yeah, like a knuckle and like a thumb print. Like it was like, you know how like gorillas like walk around their knuckles and it like sets it down. But what they had is they had this bait pile that they left out.
So it was like leaning down.
It was like leaning down to like pick something up or something. So you can see the knuckle and you can see the thumb, and it's clearly very human-ish. And then they have some other casts that are over 20 inches long that they've found in the area. And then in 2002, they have a single print that they were able to cast, but they were tracking it for a while. But they have a juvenile track.
Oh,
so
it's just a smaller foot?
It's a smaller... I mean, it's still a huge foot, but it's smaller, yeah. And they were like... And it was so exciting. He was like talking about it. He was like, and this is my pride and joy. This is the juvenile track that we found in 2000. And I was like, that's so cool, dude. And he's like really passionate about talking about it. And according to their research, from tracking these prints that they're finding all over the area, because he goes out there all the time to look for it. And since then, he hasn't seen it, but as I mentioned, they've gotten a lot of tracks. With Bill York and the BFRO and them all going out there, they've determined that there's at least 2 family groups in the area, and they've been able to follow their tracks, and the longest set of tracks that they followed was over 2 miles long.
Wow.
Over extremely tough terrain.
So when you say family groups, like how much estimated? Like 4 to 6 per?
At least a male, a female, and a juvenile.
Okay, so at least 3 per group.
At least.
Interesting.
Yeah. And they seem to be monogamous. I don't know.
Hey, good for them. Good on them.
But yeah, that was really cool. And they were also talking, and then like this Bill York guy was like, they were out hiking around, and he found what he described as like sitting areas. You know how like because he's worked with tracking like gorillas and things. You know how they make like their nests at night and that kind of thing. He said he found like areas where it looks like everything's been like bent and trampled.
Yeah, where there's definitely evidence of something being there.
Something large.
Spending a fair amount of time there.
Sitting down or spending the night there. Yeah. Which I thought was really cool. And this has been deemed the most credible Bigfoot sighting since that footage.
The Paul Freeman footage?
Yeah. And I just thought that was really cool. And I'm going to take you on a little bit of a side tangent now.
Uh-oh.
Because in my research, I found something super cool. Have you ever heard of the Bigfoot trap?
I cannot say that I have.
Okay, so welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the only Bigfoot trap in the world. And this is a trap that is a place that you can visit.
So this is an actual, like, cage type thing?
Yes.
Oh.
In the woods.
It's just in the wood? They left it?
Yes. Okay, so we'll get to it. Okay, so this is located 3.1 miles from the California border.
Okay.
So it's in between the chateau and the border.
Okay.
And at the time of construction, it was incredibly remote. But since then, they've built a road and there's now like trails and stuff. Okay. So it was built in 1974, the year my mom was born, by the North American Wildlife Research Team, or NOWRT.
So is this like a government organization?
Yeah.
A government
Not
organization?
like a government organization, but it's like a private,
They
it's like
built a Bigfoot trap in the woods?
Yeah. At the time, it was like really remote.
That's awesome.
They were based out of Eugene, Oregon. They don't exist anymore. They're defunct. They went bankrupt and they don't exist anymore.
Dang it.
So what happened?
They didn't catch anything in their trap.
Yeah, we'll get to it. So apparently there's this guy. He was this miner. You know how we love a miner. What? Don't take that out of context. We love a man that is a miner. A miner. Like a coal miner.
I don't look at you the same way anymore. You need to pick your words more carefully. You're going to end up on a list. You're a freak.
You know what I meant.
Like the Miner 49er.
Yes.
From Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
You guys should watch Scooby-Doo.
I think this is like the 6th time you've mentioned
I like
the Miner 49er specifically in one of our episodes.
Actually, no, I do know exactly why I recognize the Miner 49er so much. Because my dad would always do a funny voice whenever I'd watch the episode and go, "The Miner 49er!" And I thought that was very funny as a child.
Oh, I thought it was going to be something a lot more traumatizing. Like, that was the story that, like, that was the episode that scarred you.
God, if you're scared of the Miner, it's just a dude. It's not even like, it's a ghost. It's like, he's not even like transparent. It's just a miner.
Time to rewatch Scooby-Doo for the millionth time.
So true.
This is your sign. Listeners, turn it off right now.
Watch Scooby-Doo. I finished the episode and then watch Scooby-Doo.
Anyway, so there was this miner, and his name was Perry Lovell.
Wow, what a name.
And he lived in the area, and he claimed to find 18-inch tracks with a 6-foot span apart in his garden. So an 18-inch long foot.
6 feet apart?
Yeah, like 6-foot long strides.
Oh, I thought you meant like, side to side. I was like, how does that Bigfoot is built alternatively? He's a little special.
Just waddling around a really wide gate.
It's like really stretched out. So it's pelvic. I'm sorry, I'm holding this in my hand if I just sounded weird. Its pelvis like really stretched out. It's just like
No, that was a 6-foot long stride.
That would be more horrifying. Imagine you're like watching your family, got a 6-foot like wide hips, 18-foot. Dude, that's an abomination. Maybe that's what the Wendigo is.
No, I think that's what the what did you cover last week?
Oh, the Grafton Monster?
Yeah. He's just wide.
He is wide.
He's a wide boy.
He's just a fellow.
He's a wide boy. Anyway, there's this miner. And in his garden, he's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm finding all these tracks." And then these people, the North American Wildlife Research Team, or NOWRT, was like, "Slay. We love that, buddy. We're going to build this 10 by 10 box."
Oh.
In the woods that is reinforced with twisted metal bands and secured to the ground with telephone poles. And we're going to bait it. And we're going to catch a Bigfoot. And there's going to have this big metal gate, and it's going to slam shut, and we're going to catch Bigfoot right in your backyard, buddy. Don't you worry.
Interesting.
So they built it, and then they baited it with carcasses for 6 years, and they only caught bears.
Wow, what a surprise.
I know, womp womp.
I'm very surprised.
Who would have frickin' thought? So they caught many a bear.
Do you know why, though?
Why they what?
It's because a Bigfoot are too clever.
Yeah, I know. It was not, like, inconspicuous.
They, like, walk up, they're like...
It's literally just a massive box with meat in it, like, and a big door.
That's really weird, dude. That wasn't here, like, I don't know, 2 days ago? When did this show up? What do they think we are?
They're like sniffing around it. They're like,
I mean, I would like that carcass.
they're like, honestly, we might as well just let them trap one of us for the laughs.
Yeah, honest, that would be pretty funny. I'll give you $20 if you do it.
20 pebbles.
20 stones to throw at onlookers.
But yeah, so they only caught bears. Shocker. I like to think they were catching the same bear over and over again that was just getting really fat.
Like, ah, dang it.
It's just getting really chunky.
I thought I could get away with it this time. I barely fit the door anymore.
So it was built in 1974 and it was abandoned in the early 80s.
Dang.
And just left to rot.
That's rough.
And then later when the Applegate Dam was built, then a road was built, and then you ended up with the Collings Mountain Trail number 943, which now goes across the area. And you can go right up to it and it's still there. It has been restored. In 2006, it was restored. And the slamming big metal door has been permanently bolted open to prevent anybody from getting stuck inside of it.
That would be one hell of an Eagle project.
Dude, that'd be sick.
I know, right? They're like, yeah, I built a Bigfoot trap. And you're like, what?
I restored it
how does that,
to its former glory.
How does that benefit society? What did you say?
Oh my god, it's for science.
You're gonna... How dare you?
You're like, how many service hours do you get for that?
That's one service project I am interested in being on.
Yeah, I would love that. But anyway,
sick.
To this day, hundreds of people visit it every single year.
I would visit it. It sounds like fun.
It looks so cool, and it's pretty rustic. It looks like a Lincoln log house with a big metal door on it. And it's just there.
Does it have a roof?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was gonna say, what if Bigfoot just climbed up?
I was gonna say, that would be my first thing. Especially because people are saying it's like, oh, it's already 9 feet tall. I'm like, what? It's just gonna go and just like climb right out of it?
Well, imagine if they like, you know, the reason why they didn't catch it is because the door slammed shut, be like, dang it, and then just like push the door back open because, you know, they got like thumbs and are intelligent.
Yeah, I like to think that too, that it just like, well, shoot, and it just like pry the door back open.
I better go.
Especially because like I'm also thinking, I'm like, great. Imagine you catch one. Now what?
Yeah, how are you going to get it out of it?
Now what?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, they'd probably kill it.
Yeah.
They'd probably kill it and then dissect it and then taxidermy it.
Or hit it with enough tranquilizer to take out an elephant.
Or that. They give it ketamine.
Imagine being the guy that has to like go up to the door.
Imagine like, man, they probably got another. Oh!
Do you think every single time? Do you think they had like a sensor in it that would like send off like a bat signal every time the door slammed shut? And they're like, "We got him!" And then they go back out there and they're like, "Oh, it's just a bear."
Get the hell out of here!
It's the same bear over and over again.
Sorry, guys. Maybe you shouldn't have just keep eating with carcass and stuff.
Like alarms go off and they're like, "This is it!" And they all like hop into their little jeeps and they like zoom out there.
Mystery machine to catch Mr. Reynolds in the Bigfoot outfit.
Yeah.
God.
They've all got little like walkie-talkies. They're
Eagle 1 to nest. Approaching the trap.
We got the big one.
God.
We got him. Mr. Foot, we got him. Danger is afoot.
The package.
The package has arrived.
Package is secure. Like, what did you do? We hit him over the head with a bat. Really
We
hard.
gave him some bananas.
Damn. Is that racially motivated?
No, what the
Species motivated? Thinking just because he's an ape, he would like bananas?
Probably. I mean, I like bananas.
Fair enough.
Anyway, that's all I got for you. Cut all of this
what
out.
What a stupid way to end it. Oh my God. That's really cool, though.
Thank you. I want to go see it.
I want to go visit the Bigfoot trap. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got for you. I'm so glad we were able to ramble for an hour and 20 minutes because
we do that literally every episode.
I know, but I only had I had a page of notes and I made that stretch.
Me too. If the audio is bad, I swear we're done with this podcast, dude. I'm gonna send this microphone right through my PC. On other notes,
we heard your cries, and it hasn't gotten any better.
Maybe. I hope it did. We do have a cool confirmation, though. We will be having a special guest next episode.
Did you actually ask him?
Yes.
Did he actually say yes?
Yeah, he said, I'll just prepare something and I'll get on the podcast. So we're going to have the first Brian Power Hour, maybe. I don't know if it'll be, probably won't be an hour.
Brian's Power Hour. Tune in next week.
I need to workshop a funny name.
We need to up our listenership. So that's why we need his sultry
we have to
deep
bring
voice.
His radio ASMR voice on.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hello, it's me, Brian.
Watch our views actually go through the roof.
That
And we're
would be
like,
Brian
God
would be a
damn,
permanent addition to the show.
you're gonna get me out of here.
Yeah, I'll be like, get Daphne out of here. I want my man Brian, dude. He's got that radio voice.
I'm like, you guys, this was my idea.
Too bad. You can be the special guest now. I'm talking about for Brian.
I mean, if it's what you got to do to pay the bills.
True, honestly. Brian's my goat. Honestly.
Okay, so make the tier list.
I know.
Make the tier list.
I will.
And then, let's see.
Workshop a name for whatever.
Workshop a name for Brian's segment.
I remember we were talking about it being like maybe alien stuff because we haven't really done any alien stuff specifically. So if we had
because alien stuff freaks me out.
Brian handles the aliens, the existential cosmic horror. That'd be pretty sick. I can be
the last thing I need is that man like whispering alien stories into my ear
That would be
holes.
hot, dude. He's like those guys who read creepypastas.
God, we're
online.
doomed.
He's like, and then Jeff broke into the house and he killed 4 men.
Blood oozing from your stump like Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. And the cartoon Squidward had photorealistic eyes and blood.
Bum, 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 bum.
And you're like, oh my god, that was peak horror in 2010.
Put together a little jingle for Brian.
I would like to do a little jingle for Brian. We got to come up with a segment name for Brian. Be the Brian Alien Bash. I don't know. I'll workshop it.
Comment below.
Like a comment. Luke, I know you're the one who's going to comment. Comment a name
Luke,
for this
Clayton?
segment.
Clayton, are you listening?
Workshop a name for me, Luke.
Put them in the comments. I will see them. Or text them to me.
The Brian Cosmic Bash. The
Brian Coxon Cosmic Bash.
The Big
The Big
Alright.
Cut all of this out. Cut all of this out.
I have to keep it.
No.
You're right, I don't.
You don't. Cut it all out.
I really don't. But I probably will. Anyway, I don't like doing work. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Hi, thank you so much.
All right.
This has been Two Bozos in the Bone Zone. I'm Daphne.
I'm Tucker.
Okay, bye.
See you later. Thank you for listening to Two Bozos in the Bone Zone, hosted by Daphne Stacy and Tucker Lambing. Cover art by Noah Kachiver and editing by Tucker Lambing. If you like the show, please leave us a rating or a review and or subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please email us at twobozosinthebonezone@gmail.com. Also, please follow along on our Instagram page, TBITBZ, for photos to go along with stories and to keep up on updates. See you next time. Bye-bye.